If you are above average at any type of content creation, is AI really better than you? Let's discuss. Welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host, Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And today, we're going to look into, is AI essentially overhyped, especially if you are above average when it comes to content creation. So if you're fantastic at creating videos, or if you're above average at images, or if you're a fantastic copywriter, is AI what you get from ChatGPT or Runway ML or Midjourney? Is it actually better than what you can create? Or really, are the platforms aimed at people that are average or below average? So Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they are aimed at the moment, in the current state of most of them, at people that are complete beginners, actually, not even average at something, like as in they've never tried it before. So one of the miraculous things that a lot of people have found is that they can all be artists now and express their feelings through typing, and then some amazing images or videos come out of a platform which they had very little control over, you know, because they're just essentially having fun and generating things on random. But as you said, like if you're a top 5% copywriter or art director, film director, or any of these things, graphic designer, videographer, then yeah, essentially the AI tools will be below that average that you've been creating for yourself. And they may be able to make you be more efficient. They may be able to make you have a more productive or fun workflow. Like, for example, like looking through, you know, stock photography is really boring versus prompting Midjourney is actually kind of fun, and you can iterate over and over again. So, you know, they're not necessarily going to make you better if you're already good at something, but they could do other things, you know, be more efficient or have more fun, or, you know,
be an assistant essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Or be like something that, like, there's multiple good descriptions I've heard of AI. It's an amplification of your abilities tool, or it's like a co-assistant that you can bounce back and forth from. You know, I think both of those can be true depending on the way that you use it and which platform you're using. But yeah,
I'm starting to use it more as something I just kind of bounce back and forth with.
Yeah,
you know, as more of an assistant than anything else, especially the large language models. Yeah,
exactly. You're doing like optimize this or check my spellings, and you know, you're doing LLM stuff. Whereas if you're a social media marketer that doesn't or has a copywriter, then you're not going to be doing any text. You're not going to be doing any evaluation of text. You're literally, your day-to-day job is making images, making blog content, making video content, making social posts.
Yeah.
So then again, you know, different tool set, different use cases, different workflows, different experience.
I think there's two things that's happened that I think to myself, these tools are great if you're average, but if you're above average or excellent, they're not as good as you. And one was, and this was early, this must have been Midjourney 2 or maybe 3, and that was with Paul. So Paul, your business partner, he is the best person I've seen at Midjourney. And it's no surprise that he is an art director, or he is fantastic at using or creating art, because he knows what to type in the prompt. So that was the first thing I said to myself, okay, well, it's not actually better than Paul, but Paul can create better designs than anyone else and quicker because of that. And the second thing is, when I looked at some of my, let's say, expertise, one of them is teaching. And I've not really found any AI that I look at as a teacher and I'm thinking, I can really, really learn from this, or I feel threatened by. And second is creating presentations. Now, I've used a few presentation platforms and I'm like, this is not very good. However, if you're not used to doing presentations and you used it, you'll be thinking, this is amazing because it's a lot better than what I could do before. Just like when I use let's say Mid-Journey, it's way better than what I could do before. So to me, it's amazing. So I think if you're at, like as you said, the top 10%, I wouldn't be threatened with it. And a lot of people's like, oh, is it going to take my job? I wouldn't be threatened with it yet. And I must add the word in yet. So yeah.
That's great context, mate, because if you have got the PowerPoint skills of a 14-year-old that hasn't done his GCSEs yet, then maybe, it is actually going to help you be better than what you could have done yourself and be a lot speedier. Plus, you might hate it. These are the things I think about. But it's very kind of you to say that Paul's the best at Mid-Journey. I agree. An art director given an art direction tool equals much bigger win than a non-art director given an art direction tool. Yeah. Same can be said, by the way, for all this new video stuff we're seeing, because spoke last night to one of the best film directors I've ever spoke to, Dave Clark. He actually, personally knows people like that have made incredible films like Ridley Scott and people like this, wow. The Alien series. He's hanging out with his son this week. His son is into Gen AI, and no surprise based on the Alien films and the concepts and craziness of that. But like seeing a film director given a film tool equals the same as Paul in the Mid-Journey thing. It's very bleedingly obvious that this guy is this was made for him. Yeah, and one of the things I love so much that he said on this audio group is he's getting kind of bored of hearing film directors who are against this stuff because his ethos is create by any means necessary. And I love that expression, nothing should hold you back from being creative. Not your medium, not your tools, not your, anything should hold you back. If you're physically disabled, you can still make art. All of these things are, and he had a great story about, he was recently in South Korea and they're very adoptive of this technology. It's being very widespread over there. And lots of people that he talked to, he got a lot of inspiration from because one of them was an author of 40 years and no longer can practice his craft due to his elder, status. He's finding it hard to write so much, but now he can talk to a large language model and still express his creativity, still make books. They're the sort of stories you want to hear,
Yeah, no, definitely. To an extent that it's really helped me, and I'll do another episode on this in a bit more detail, but I've suffered from repetitive strain injury since 2008. So I have problems with the nerves in my hands. So I've always had problems using my phone or my laptop because I'm always in pain. But what's helped me with these platforms is the speed. So because to me, time equals pain. So if I can do something quicker, then I'm going to be in less pain. So that's where it's kind of really, really helped me. But I feel that when it comes to certain other things, so going back to the presentations, it's actually been more of a hindrance because, and I'm sure I'm saying this a lot, it's happened to people before where you kind of say, right, if I can get somebody to help me or outsource, and then you outsource it, you give it instructions and they don't do it right, you'd be thinking, I should have just done it myself. Yeah. You kind of have that's happened quite a lot with some of the platforms, but with especially like the likes of obviously Mid-Journey and DALL-E 3 and all of the image generators, as well as the video ones, that's been like a life changer for me.
Do you just remind me of another really good expression. This can be an expressions episode. Saw someone put a LinkedIn post up the other week saying, if you think I'm expensive, try hiring someone rubbish.
Yeah.
Because if you do it rubbish, you do it twice. And you have to pay the expensive person to undo all of that stuff, as well as the original quote that you were given to get it done right the first time. That's the big thing is people go cheap. Like, would you get a cheap tattoo knowing it's going to be permanent on your body for the rest of your life? Exactly. So why would you do that with your branding or your social media or anything that represents your company? Like, it's a really stupid idea to think that way. I want to bargain when it comes to creativity. That's such you're going to get people that aren't good.
Yeah, and that's true. The problem is that nowadays it's hard. People are very good at, let's say, the marketing behind it and showing that they are good. And then you use them and you're like, well, hold on a minute. Now I've just hired someone rubbish. Now it's going to cost me more money to hire someone who's good. So there's that as well that you need to look out for.
Yeah, so in a nutshell with this one, it's not a black and white thing across the board, but if you're good at anything, AI may not be as useful to you as it is to someone that's not good at the thing that it wants to do. But that's not to say that it can't be an amplification if you are good, like we were talking about Paul, talking about Dave. It actually can make you more speedy or enjoy it more. But yeah, in a nutshell, AI is sometimes quite a lot of hype, sometimes not enough hype.